Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. And this is gonna be a special review today. This is my first official Prime 1 statue. This is a 1/3 scale, so it's gonna be very big. And I had some statues before, as you can see right there, some premium formats by Sideshow. Those are quarter scale, but this thing right here is gonna be something else. As you can see, the box is massive right there. So yeah, I had the opportunity to pick this guy up a few weeks ago. I saw him, I saw the price, and I said, you know, why not? I mean, Arkham Origins is one of my favorite Batman games out there, and DEATHSTROKE is one of my favorite Batman villains. The issue is Batman has so many great villains, it's hard to choose between. But I saw this thing and I was like, you know what? Let me make the seller an offer. It was on Marketplace and I went to pick it up. And this is it right here. What's also cool, this is the exclusive. As you can see, they made 750 of the exclusive, and I believe in total it's over 1,000 of these. I'm gonna put the official numbers in the corner right there. As you can see, very fantastic box. You have the logo right there of the video game, Prime 1 Studios. Very simple box. It's almost like it's a blueprint of the character. Pretty much all the Arkham Origins figures have this, statue have this box. That's pretty much how the base looks. The front, you have the character right there with the gun. Very awesome. And same thing on the side. So that's it for the box. Again, nothing too crazy. It's very big. It was also very well protected. There's a shipper box. There was like all these corner styrofoams. So it was very nicely protected. As you can see, is very nice condition. Again, the seller was a little bit of an asshole because I was negotiating with him back and forth, so we ended up making a deal, which is good in the end, and the statue is in very good condition. So yeah, let's look at the swap outs. Okay, and the statue obviously comes with some instructions right there, very simple. It shows you pretty much how to put all the parts, which is it was quite easy to do, so no big deal right there. Again, I have the exclusive, so it comes with the Batman masks with the hand right there to hold it. And again, this thing is pretty heavy. So yeah, pretty easy for the instruction. I mean, look how badass that looks. So again, you're gonna have multiple options on how to expose. As you can see, it comes with a lot of swap outs. There's the base, and speaking of the base, let me guys show you this thing. It's absolutely massive right there, as you can see. Again, I have to assemble, there's a couple of pieces that are gonna go in the front. As you can see, this thing is ginormous. You have the Batman logo right there. Obviously the statue is gonna plug in right there. And let's see what's underneath. Let's see here, hopefully it's the correct order. And as you can see, it's pretty much the statue right there with the number. As you can see, mine is 295, this of 750 for the exclusive. So let's put this thing in here. And then the first step is to assemble this piece right here in front, which is very nice, almost like a Grim Reaper type of deal. So this goes inside there. There's a strong magnet. So boom, right there, that's secure. And then the other piece, let me find it right there. Where did I put it? There we go. Again, there's a lot of pieces with this statue, so again, and there's the side right here, and this thing is actually metal, which is nice. So this goes right there. Let me find the spot, it's a bit tricky. So that's how the base looks, which is absolutely incredible. Very nice details. You have the wings right there. Very big. And this thing alone, I think it weighs like 10 pounds or so. It's very heavy. So yeah, let me show you the swap outs, and then we're gonna put the statue on top. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look at the amount of stuff that this thing brings. So we're gonna have multiple, I guess, right arms. You know, one holding the baton, this is for the gun. This is just a fixed position with the fist. So you're gonna have your Slade Wilson head sculpt right there, which is very nice. Again, as you can see on the light, this is like a translucent resin, so it has that realistic skin look. Again, the exclusive right here, which is, I guess this never happened in the game. This is like a what if situation. Is like, what if Deathstroke would have killed Batman, because you can see there's like the bullet hole right there in the head. Again, fantastic. There's a couple of things I don't like about this, especially like the mask is full right there, which doesn't make sense how they sculpted this. But again, it's a very cool accessory and it's very heavy. So again, this is the exclusive. And then you have the mask itself of Deathstroke, very nice. Details, the scratches. You have the tassels that go into there. Again, look at that, like carbon fiber texturing. Again, very big head, as you can see in comparison to my hand. So there's open fist, a closed fist, my bad. You have the baton, which is in two pieces. This goes on his back. You can put that piece inside if you have the sword. If you don't have the sword in his hand, you have this massive gun, the pouch, the pistol that goes on his hips. Again, would have been cool to have a separate pistol that goes inside the hand. It would have been cool. Again, the hand with the baton, the arm, very massive peg right there. And you have the tassels right there. And the sword, which is die cast, very nice. I'm gonna show you these in more detail once I assemble the statue. But as you can see, fantastic. So yeah, let's dig in. Okay, so here's the first step. You pretty much put his giant body on the base. It was very simple. There's a peg on the foot right there. Man, this thing is so heavy that my lazy Susan has trouble of moving around, which is insane. But look at all the details, guys. Again, this is my first Primon statue and I'm not disappointed. Would have been cool if all these battle damage would have been a bit more crisp, because some of them are, the details are pretty flat, on the slashes, on the gun wounds. As you can see, very nice carbon fiber texture. You have the stitching right there, which is insane. Look how detailed that looks. The bullets right here, which on the Hot Toys figures, those are removable. Again, you have a grenade right there, a lot of pouches. This is where the gun goes. And you have this chain mail look. Yeah, excellent. The belt right there, all the stitching. It's fantastic, guys. And again, it's a very big piece. Again, this is 1/3 scale. So for those who don't know how the scaling works, it's pretty much 3 times smaller than the actual character in the video game. Obviously, I'm used to collecting 1/6 and 1/4, but this is way bigger. Again, all the crazy details. Very nice. Okay, so assembling, like I said, is very simple. There's magnets. So let's start right there, placing the gun. As you can see, very satisfying click. Then what I'm gonna do, let's see, I'm gonna put the sheet on the back. Right there, there's a hole right there, so let me take the sheet. Again, this is very strong magnets, so take your time with this. Let me see, that clips into there. Let me put right there, this piece right there. Boom, that went in very nice. And let's see right there. Don't you worry, guys, I'm gonna show you all the looks of the statue. So let me go with this hand. Again, very big peg. It goes in right there. And then there's a small pouch that kind of goes in here. Very satisfying. Let me go with the Slade Wilson head sculpt. Again, very nice. The hairs are very nicely done. Again, you have the pouch on the eye, the scar, the beard. Again, this plugs in right there, very nice. Again, you don't have a seam on the neck, which is very good. So It's awesome. And then let me put the regular fist on this end, you know, just to complete the look. Again, very nice details. At first I thought that this was very small in terms of the scale, but that's how it is in the game. So, and then boom. Yeah, that's, see, it's not very securely. It moves a lot, it wiggles a lot, but you know, it stays in place because the magnet's very strong. So here's like one of the first looks that you can achieve the statue. Again, very, I guess, you know, museum style pose. You have one foot that's standing right there in front, the other is on the back. Very, I guess, superhero-esque, you know, pose. Some of their Batmans actually have this pose where, you know, he has a foot on top, the other on the back, so very nice. As you can see, very nice details. I really like the eye. I think it's a sticker, either that or it's very nicely painted. And I will do a video, guys, of pretty much Prime 1 versus Hot Toys. You know what I like and what I don't like about both. Obviously this is a statue, so everything that you see here is sculpted. Obviously the Hot Toys would have a cloth right there. The armor pieces would have been separate. But this is one giant sculpt. Again, you have some attached pieces on top, pieces that were glued to the body, but you know, it's mostly, you know, one giant sculpt. Which is fantastic. Also, the seller was kind enough to include this custom-made plaque with the edition size. It's very nice, very nicely made. You have right there DEATHSTROKE, which is awesome. So I'm gonna display this behind the statue, which is cool. And here's the other look with the mask. Again, the tassel pretty much pegging on the back of the head, and be really careful because these are very thin, and I'm not sure the material. It looks almost plasticky, but I think it's very like thin resin. So be very careful when putting those in. But again, look at that, how awesome the mask is. Wow, that looks great. All the scratches. As you can see, you only have one eye because the other is patched. So fantastic. It's a shame that actually Joe Manganiello, we didn't see a crossover with Batman. That would have been such a great movie. I think that movie was replaced by the Batman with Robert Pattinson. Would have been such a cool idea to see like Batman versus Deathstroke movie, or even I think the ideal Batman movie for me would be almost like the first Arkham Asylum game. You know, Batman stuck in Arkham with all these criminals. That would have been awesome. So who knows, maybe one day when James Gunn is gonna cast the next Batman. So yeah, that's the look with the mask. Again, fantastic piece and very tall. And there's the look with the baton again, amazing. As you can see, this thing is so big, it pretty much takes all my review area space. But yeah, awesome piece. I think this is like a PVC material, it's very thin. So I'm not sure if it's like thin resin or a PVC material. As you can see, there's that badass look. Boom. Right there, awesome. So again, a lot of swap outs with this statue, which is cool. Usually nowadays, if you're buying a third scale from them with these many swap outs, it would have been between, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000 easily. I mean, they are selling like the average price of a Coro scale from Prime 1 is like $1,500 to even $2,000 depending on how big the character is. So as you can see right there, that look right there, that profile look. I'm so happy that I pulled the trigger because I was debating for years on buying statues like this, especially from Prime 1, because they are very expensive. Obviously I was able to get a great deal, which is cool, but you know, for years I wasn't able to display these because they take a lot of space. They're also very heavy. I think this thing alone is close to 40 pounds. So yeah, it takes a lot of space. So what I'm gonna do in the next couple of weeks here, I'm gonna buy another garage shelf to display these. As you can see, it's so big that I just, you know, hit the backdrop right there. So yeah, these need proper displays, obviously. And also because the statue, I don't know if it's the material of the resin, but they have a lot of dust. So when I got this guy, there was a lot of dust on the base, so it wasn't a big deal. I cleaned that up, but be sure to be careful, because apparently dust can damage statues and like you know, figures that are made of plastic. So yeah, that's fantastic. And there's the exclusive item, which is Batman's mask. Again, this is very I guess the piece itself is very heavy and the connection is not too secure, so as you can see, but the magnet is quite strong enough. So, but again, that piece is very scary. And if you're buying the Arkham Origins Batman, the exclusive one comes with the Deathstroke's mask, similar pose to this. Batman's pretty much holding in his hand, and there's also empty cowl that you can pose around, so that's very cool. If I'm gonna get the exclusive of that, if I'm displaying like the non-masked version, I'm pretty much gonna have that mask around the base, which is cool to have. So yeah, this is another look. Again, that's the exclusive. There was 750 made with that piece right there. Okay guys, so this is crazy. Just to give you some perspective on how big this thing is. That's a 12-inch 1/6 scale figure right there. That's Michael Myers, the guinea pig. Look at that. That's messed up, guys. I mean, when I said this thing is 1/3 scale, you know, I wasn't joking. Even if I put the figure like right there, just to give you more details on the size. Boom! That's how big he is. Again, he's about 30 inches tall to the base. The statue itself is like 26. But this is crazy, guys. I mean, just to give you again another close look at the size of the head versus like Michael. Again, this is a giant head, you know, in comparison to my hand. If I compare to Michael right there, boom, he's small. Damn! That's a big statue, guys. Oh boy, so I thought that this Venom was huge. This is almost Cora scale in size, because it's like 20 inches tall, 21 inches tall. And look at that. That's not even funny, guys. Holy shit. It makes Venom look like a puny figure right there. But this thing is big in person, as you can see. I think the shoulder width, it's close to this one. But the size, I mean, it's not even funny. Damn! But excellent figure, guys. Highly recommend this one. Okay, and here's the deluxe Cora scale Boba Fett from the book of Boba Fett. As you can see, still very small in comparison. I mean, it's not that crazy because, again, I chose this one to do the size comparison because he has a very tall base, also similar in size to this one. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the bases, this thing is so light. It's like, you know, a hollow plastic, where this is very heavy. And again, just a comparison of the heads. I still think that Hot Toys do more realistic heads than Prime 1. Obviously depending on the characters, because I mean, look at the head. The eyes right there, I think those are sculpted separate pieces inside the head. But yeah, the wrinkles, everything. This is fantastic. But yeah, as you can see, Cora scale versus 3rd scale is quite a bit smaller. But yeah, nonetheless, this thing kicks ass. Okay, so let's see how tall this thing is. Again, his tallest point is gonna be where his gun is. So again, I'm gonna measure him, because the second Prime one I got, it's overscaled. This one, I think the scale is perfect, because Deathstroke in the comics is about 6'5". And so yeah, let's see here, starting from the base up until the gun, I'm pretty much at almost 33 inches tall, which is massive. And let me turn him around. So to the top of the head, I'm at close to 31 inches tall, and then the statue itself is, I would say, close to 27. And that's very accurate, because again, if I'm taking 1/3 scale divided by 3, that's about, let's see, I said 27 or close to it. See here, so that's about 68 centimeters tall. So that's about, if I'm doing the math, multiply that by 3, that's about, you know, 6'6", which is accurate considering obviously the character is about 6'5". I know John Manganiello from the Zack Snyder universe was about 6'5", so when you put him into boots, he's about 6'6" or so. So very accurate in terms of the scale right there. I know, for instance, like the Justice League figures are overscaled, so I'm gonna talk about that, but that's just a heads up on my next video. It's from the Justice League. So yeah, very accurate in terms of size, no complaints there. But I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people are not mentioning if the statue is overscaled or underscaled, so yeah. Boom, this is how I like to display mine, with the gun hand right there on the right and on the sword right there. And again, if you are displaying the sword in the hand, you can remove the hilt from the back right there. But that's epic. One thing that is kind of disappointing, because you're getting this arm right there and you cannot put the gun hand in this arm because the mold, the hold right there doesn't hold. That hand is specifically made for that arm right there, which is kind of, it's weird. Again, would have been also cool to have an extra hand that's holding a pistol. That would have been nice, but again, this is cool because when I got the Hot Toys a couple of years ago, he didn't came with the gun. I think he only had the pistol, the katana obviously, and that grappling, I guess, weapon similar to Batman, so that's also missing from the statue. But other than that, I mean, it's fantastic. Again, it came in great condition, no damages. It would have been cool though if the pants would have been like a cloth material. That's probably some of my complaints. Also because it's a statue, you have to take pieces in and out, you know, to change the pose. It's not like a figure where you pretty much, you know, you move him around and it's easier that way. This, you have a lot of pieces, so also it takes a lot of, I guess, room to expose the pieces, because I'm not gonna leave them in a box. That's gonna be a whole process, putting the pieces back in a box, then taking them out. So I have to find a space for the pieces. The base, again, is fantastic. Let me show you a close-up. Again, this piece right here is die-cast, but you have like the Grim Reaper right there, which is awesome, holding the sai, or as some say, he's like a fallen angel. You have the wings, you have some type of gargoyle with like the bat ears. Again, some very nice details throughout. Again, fantastic. This is very convincing, like as a rock material, because obviously it's made in polystone. So whenever you make polystone as a rock texture or base, it's very convincing, very heavy. This is the back. Again, you have the Batman logo right there. Boom. Very beefy figure, or I should say statue. You know, I'm used to saying figures because that's what I usually review, because obviously this is my first statue right there, 1/3 scale. So again, awesome. All the details, like the straps, again, everything is sculpted, but it's very convincing. All the stitching right there. I remember the Hot Toys one used to have that. Again, the gun is very detailed piece. And again, just an impressive look and pose. The details on the rifle are very sharp. Now, I've heard, and again, let me know in the comments below, I've heard that plastic is more expensive than resin. So then, if that's the case, why are these statues so expensive? Is it because of like the size? Because again, this is one giant mold. Other than the arm right there, this comes pretty much attached, and except the head. So maybe it's because of the mold. Because again, this retails for, I believe, $950 at Prime One, and maybe $1,000 here at Sideshow in North America. Which again, for the size of this, I think it's worth it. Again, I was able to get mine under retail. I think I spent $600 on mine, or $650, and I got the exclusive, which is cool. So okay, again, unfortunately the statue market is not doing that well. since a couple years ago. I mean, now it's pretty much the time to get statues really cheap. And again, speaking of that, I was able to get my second Prime 1 statue, which I picked up 2 days ago. Again, that was a 5-hour drive. I'm gonna tell you more about that in the review of that piece, but again, that blows me away a lot more than this. So again, stick around, that's pretty much gonna be my next video. So yeah, very happy that I got this thing again. I like the character, the video game. It's very detailed. So yeah, if you can get this, even if you're getting it in retail, I think it's a good deal. Again, the statue market is not that good. Because obviously during COVID, I think the companies, especially Prime 1, the edition sizes of these things, you know, they're quite high. I mean, again, this guy, $750 for the exclusive, I believe. The regular edition is close to $1,000, so you know, it's not that limited. Whereas now Prime 1, you know, they are releasing pieces that are like $200-300, you know, in the world. Whereas before they were making, like, you know, with the Arkham statues, you know, some of them, you know, they were like 2,000-3,000 pieces, especially the Arkham Knight himself, from Arkham Knight, obviously the video game. This is from Arkham Origins. So I think because of that, some of the statues, especially the Arkham ones, I think kind of dropped in value. Some pieces like the Jurassic Park obviously are retaining the value, but you know, some of the statues, and again, it's not just Prime 1, it's the other companies as well. So I think because of that, they're making small editions nowadays, which is good for collectors. But yeah, here's a shot of the back. Again, fantastic figure, guys. Again, I have nothing too negative to say about this figure in this video. Again, I'm gonna do a separate video, you know, that I'm gonna compare Hot Toys to Prime 1, which again, I know it's kind of apples and oranges, but I have some good ideas on what I'm gonna talk about, because again, this is just one big, you know, one big sculpt. Again, if Hot Toys would have made this, which they already did a couple years ago, this would have been an actual suit, a body underneath, and the armor would have pretty much, you know, go on top, which that would have made a more realistic look. I'm not saying that this is not realistic because it's very realistic, but again, everything is like sculpted together, and I'm not used to that. But again, it's not a big deal because it's very convincing. Again, you have a walkie-talkie right there with some straps, the pouches. So yeah, excellent, excellent piece right there. This one is quite old. I think it came out like 7 years ago. And that's how I pretty much knew Prime 1 is from when they released the Arkham Origins and the Arkham Knight. They also made a lot of Transformers, which are very big. So that's how I, you know, knew of them. I pretty much knew of them 10 years ago in 2015, when again they started to make the statues, and I always said, damn, I want one, but again, the prices were very high, especially if you buy this from Sideshow. Again, I live in Canada, so you know, I have to convert the currency, so this would have been $1,300 plus shipping and import fees. This would have been close to $2,000, and again, I got mine for like $650, so I cannot complain. It's in excellent condition. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Again, make sure to stay until the end of the video. I'm gonna do a showcase with all the different swap outs, and make sure to stick around for the next video, which is my second Prime 1 statue on the channel. And as usual, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, let me know in the comments below what do you think about the statue, what do you think about Prime 1 in general as a company. I know some people are upset because they are cutting corners here and there, but yeah, I like the company in general. I think it's my favorite statue company, followed by Sideshow. So yeah, take care, guys. See you soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.